Hello viewers, welcome back to my technology channel on YouTube, GTech. Here is a very interesting video about how to build a touchscreen based high resolution lossless audio media player. So for building this, I'm going to use a Raspberry Pi SBC, I'm going to use a Reclocker, I'm going to use a DAC, and obviously I'm going to use a touchscreen display that is suitable for Raspberry Pi. I'm also going to use suitable power supplies. So let's start the project. One compelling reason why I made this video is that when I built this project, I faced a lot of issues to make it work correctly. So I looked into various forums on the net related to this obviously. So what I found was many people were facing similar problems. So some people even abandoned the project itself. Because they could not overcome the problems. So finally when I found some time, so I worked on this and I was able to find the solutions, and finally it worked flawlessly. So what I intend to say is, whatever I'm going to show in this video, if you follow those instructions, this project you can complete in one attempt itself. So probably you can build this player in a matter of 30 minutes or maximum an hour. So if you follow my instructions. So with this, let's continue with this project. So here are the various modules that I'm going to use in this project. So the first module is obviously the Raspberry Pi SBC. So I'm going to use a Raspberry Pi 3 B+ module. So you can see here. So this is the first module. The second module that I'm going to use is called as a Reclocker. So this is from a company called as Allo.com, A-L-L-O. I don't know how to pronounce it. I assume that it is Allo. Allo.com. So this is a very unique circuitry called as Kali Reclocker. In the sense, what it does is it sits as a hat on SBC and it discards the clock that the Raspberry Pi generates, and it generates its own very precise clock because it has very precise high quality components. So in this way, what it does is, it when D to A conversion happens, so it almost eliminates the digital noise. So you would not find jitter, or jitter is reduced to a great extent when we use this module. So the quality of sound actually increases to a very great extent. So it is not just me who is telling this. Many audio enthusiasts have appreciated this module, and that is the reason why I'm using it. So the next module is the DAC itself. So once again, the DAC that I have chosen is from Allo.com itself. So it's called as Allo Piano. So it's a 2.1 DAC. So you can see here. So this sits on the Kali Reclocker. Okay. So this is the third module, and obviously you can see the touch screen here. So this is the official Raspberry Pi touchscreen. It's a 7-inch touchscreen display. So the back side of the display. So I have fixed it on a wooden frame actually. Okay, the wooden frame has been purchased separately. Okay, one other thing is So to mount all this, I have a casing. Okay, so I have what do you call, other panes panels also. Okay, so other than that, the power supply to power the unit, the completed unit. So I will have some explanation for using these power supplies, so I will do it when we actually power the system. So it's a very, so this particular power supply is a special power supply built for audio purposes, specifically for this project itself. So for lossless media player, so it has a lot of filters inside, so which gives a very clean what do you call, DC output. So obviously it is 5 volts. I think that's it about the various modules and components that I'm going to use for this project. So I'm going to start with the touchscreen display. So I'm going to place this on a soft material so that it will not scratch the screen or damage the screen or something like that. So at the back of the touchscreen panel or touchscreen display, I'm going to mount the casing. So for which actually I have put 4 spacers. Okay, so as you can see, I will mount the casing like this. So now as you can see here, the casing is mounted at the back of the RPI touchscreen. So to secure this, I have used spacers which also act as bolts. So the reason for using the spacers is that I'm going to mount more boards on this. So to start with, I'm going to mount the RPI SBC. So I'm going to mount like this and secure it using, once again, spacers which also act as bolts. So you need to be a little bit conscious while mounting this, because the wire strip that comes from the touchscreen, so for the display purposes, so that has to align with the socket given on RPI board. So this one, so that is one important aspect. So done. So even the wire strip is secured. So on this, now I'm going to mount the Collier Reclocker hat. So as you can see, so it sits on the RPI like this. So done. One very important point that you need to consider is, we need to separately power the Collier Reclocker and the RPI SBC separately. So for that reason, for that purpose, they have provided a jumper on Collier Reclocker. So if you remove that jumper, so you need to power them separately. So since we are going to power them separately, I'm going to remove that jumper. Actually, I have removed that jumper here. Okay, so that is one important aspect. So now on this sits the DAC. So here is the DAC, as you can see. So it's going to sit like this. So done. So now I'm going to fix the side panels and the top panel of the chassis, and after that it would look something like this. So now fixing the panels of the chassis is done. So let's see like how it looks. So at the back it looks like this. So as you can see, so from the front it looks like this. Okay, so basically, like if you place it, so it will look like this. So in order to make this project work in the first attempt, you need to follow two very important points that I'm going to specify now. So the first point is you need to power the RPI touchscreen, the RPI SBC and the DAC separately. That means you need to connect separate power supplies for the touchscreen, separate power supply for SBC and separate power supply for the DAC. So this is where for many people this project is not working properly. So that is the first point. So now the second point. So the second point is, as you can see in this picture, so this has been taken from the Volumio forum itself, one of the forums in the Volumio website itself. So wherein they tell you to tap 4 wires from SPC and connect it to the touchscreen board. So don't do it. So if you do it, this project is not going to work properly. So that is because the GPIO pins that they have specified to tap, that actually those pins are used for some other purpose in Kali Reclocker. So if specifically if you're using Kali Reclocker, so don't do that. So these are two very important points that you need to consider in order to make this project work in the first attempt. So as you can see here, so I have installed a software by name Volumio on this build. Volumio is a Linux based open source audiophile grade music player. So it's a software with fantastic features. So it's becoming better day by day with newer versions. So I'm not going to show you how to install the software itself, because that's there at many places on the internet, or it's there in great detail on the Volumio website itself. So instead I just want to show you how the touchscreen works. So for example, see here, I have, after booting, this is the home screen. So the touchscreen works pretty smooth. For example, if I want to see the files on my USB, so I need to go to music library. So it's showing USB. So as you can see here, I have some directories where for example, so inside this I have all these files. So by just clicking on one of them, so it starts to play, as you can see. So one very important aspect of this player is it can also play DSD files, DSD and DXD. So that is one very important aspect. So obviously it will play FLACs, ELACs, all those things. So other than that, it also plays DSD files. So home screen. So as you can see, there are a lot of plugins that you can install. So you can install equalizer, you can install some radios, a lot of things. So settings, so there are a lot of settings that you can adjust, as you can see here. So if you install the software, if you make the build and install the software, you'll get to know. So that's about the build and the software. So if you follow my instructions, so you will be able to make it work first attempt. So that's all about this build. So as I told you, like if you follow my instructions, you will be able to build this successfully in the first attempt itself. In my next video, I'm going to show you how it sounds also. I have already put a video on a MOSFET amplifier that I built. So in the next video, let's test it, like how it sounds, and while testing it, we will play the music from this player. So in that way, probably we can test both the items. So according to me, it sounds spectacular. So I hope this video was interesting. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.